My Republican colleagues propose a stablecoin bill that would create 58 different licenses with federal regulatory approval over only 2 of the licenses. The remaining 56 licenses can be issued by each state, territory, and D.C. with little or no federal oversight, regulation, and enforcement. This proposal takes state preemption into a whole new level. It effectively allows every state to preempt another state. DC-based coins, for example, would be sold to individuals nationwide, and New York or North Carolina regulators could do nothing to protect their own residents, while even the Fed would be severely hamstrung in providing any oversight. I've argued that we should allow states to be part of this process, but we must have a strong, enforceable federal floor with a role for the Federal Reserve to approve and provide oversight of payment, stablecoins issued by non-banks in order to ensure that consumers are protected. Such a framework is similar to our dual banking system, and it would ensure that non-banks and banks are treated the same. We should also bear in mind that payment stablecoins are a new form of currency intended to allow individuals to pay for things with them. As such, do you agree that it is important for the Fed, as our central bank, to have a chance to approve or decline any state licensed non-bank entity before it starts issuing payment stablecoins nationwide?
Well, first of all, let me say we appreciate that we've been able to offer our views on these things to your staff and also the majority staff, and we appreciate the consideration that's given to our views. We do see payment stablecoins as a form of money, and in all advanced economies, the ultimate source of credibility in money is the central bank, and we believe that it would be appropriate to have quite a robust federal role in what happens in stablecoins going forward, and that leaving us with a weak role and allowing a lot of private money creation at the state level would be a mistake. But nonetheless, again, I do appreciate that we've been able to be heard and share our views with the committee.
Well, thank you so very much. I am appreciative for that clear answer. The next question that I have for you is a bit unusual. But one of the reasons we push diversity is because those things that have not been discussed, issues of people of color, etc., have not been dealt with. I'm going to throw you something that you would not expect. Earlier this week, our nation celebrated Juneteenth, which Congress recognized as a national holiday for the first time since 2021. The holiday celebrates the day enslaved African Americans in Texas heard that they were free, 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was issued. To this day, Black Americans grapple with enduring racial economic inequality that has its roots in slavery, as evidenced by the Black-white gap in net worth and home ownership rates. My bill, the Federal Reserve Racial and Economic Equity Act, would require the Federal Reserve to carry out its duties in a manner that supports the elimination of racial and ethnic disparities in employment, income, wealth, and access to affordable credit. Now, the Fed has a number of duties to pursue maximum employment in the monetary policy, to supervise banks for compliance with our fair lending laws, and to ensure the Community Reinvestment Act is administered in a way that puts an end to discriminatory redlining practices by banks. Do you agree with me and Atlanta Federal Reserve President Raphael Bostic, among others, that the Fed has a role to play in addressing racial economic inequality as it carries out its work until Congress passes this bill? What steps will the Fed can you take to address racial and economic inequality?
So we do consider inequality in the economy as part of our thinking about decisions, but ultimately, and those are certainly highly valuable social goals to pursue. I would say our ability to take part in addressing those issues is fairly limited. We have one federal interest rate that we set. We do try to keep in mind, as you know, not just the aggregate national level of unemployment or employment, but also that for different ethnic groups. So we take that into account, but I would think And I think that's just part of making sure that we feel like we have all Americans in the room with us when we're making decisions on monetary policy. I will say, though, I think other agencies are better suited to address these